In March of 2022, a couple named Devin and Marla moved into a small fixer-upper outside Denver, Colorado. It wasn't much. 2 bedrooms, a semi-finished basement, and a view of the forest behind them. But it was quiet, peaceful. They'd just had their first child, a baby girl named Lily. And between sleepless nights and bottle warmers, they were more focused on diapers than decor. About a month after moving in, Devin installed a basic home security system. Motion sensors, a doorbell cam, and 1 baby monitor with night vision that fed into an app on his phone. Nothing fancy, just peace of mind. At first, everything was normal. The monitor showed Lily sleeping peacefully every night. No false alerts, no noise, just the sound of a small fan and the occasional coo. Then, one night around 3:30 a.m., Devin's phone buzzed. Motion detected nursery. He sat up in bed and opened the feed. The room was still, dimly lit by a nightlight shaped like a cloud. But something felt off. He rewound the footage by 10 seconds, and that's when he saw it. At 3:29:07 a.m., the night vision showed Lily asleep in her crib. At 3:29:09, the camera glitched, just a blink, and when it resumed, Lily was still there. But the closet door behind her crib was slightly open. Neither Devin nor Marla had opened it, and they always kept it shut to keep the baby from seeing shadows and getting scared. Devin told himself it was nothing, maybe air pressure, a hinge. But at 3:29:15, the closet door creaked open a little more. Then a small object and a baby sock slid across the floor. On its own. Devin got out of bed and rushed into the nursery. Everything looked normal. Lily was asleep. The closet was shut. The sock was in her laundry basket. He stood there for several minutes listening. Silence. Just the hum of the fan. He turned off the monitor app, chalked it up to sleep deprivation, and went back to bed. The next day, he didn't mention it to Marla. But that night, he set up a second camera. This time in the hallway just outside Lily's room. He told himself it was for safety, just in case. At 3:31 a.m., the phone buzzed again. Motion detected hallway. He opened the feed. The hallway was empty. Still. Then, from the far end, just past the bathroom, a faint shadow crossed the floor. Crawling. Slow. Deliberate, like someone moving on their elbows and knees. But when Devin enhanced the footage and paused frame by frame, there was nothing there. Just the shadow moving with no body casting it. He called his brother, who worked in IT, and had him analyze the footage. The brother said the shadow had no source, no light displacement, no identifiable object, just movement without form. He also pointed out something else. Every time the shadow appeared, the baby monitor in Lily's room glitched for exactly 1.3 seconds. And when it came back, something was always slightly different in the room. A toy knocked over, a blanket crumpled, a closet door ajar. Devin and Marla decided to set up one more camera, this time facing the basement door. They hadn't used the basement much since it was unfinished and cold, but the door had creaked open on its own once or twice. That night, Devin stayed awake, watching, waiting. At 3:32 a.m., all 3 cameras glitched simultaneously. When they resumed, the basement camera showed the door open and a dark shape at the bottom of the stairs. Not a figure, not a person. Just a black void, like a silhouette made of absence, hunched and unmoving. Devin grabbed a flashlight and went down himself. The air felt wrong, thick, heavy. He scanned every inch of the basement. Nothing. But behind an old dresser shoved against the wall, he found something strange. A crawl space. One that wasn't on the blueprints. Inside, there was a single wooden chair and a baby monitor, an older model, covered in dust. Still plugged in. Still blinking red. The next day, Devin called the previous homeowner. She hesitated at first, then admitted something they hadn't disclosed. The original owners in the 1980s had a child who went missing. No forced entry, no leads. just gone from her crib in the middle of the night. The only thing the cops ever found was a closet door slightly open and a baby sock. Devin and Marla moved out within the week. They left the cameras behind. To this day, Devin still gets notifications every night at exactly 3:29 a.m. Motion detected, but when he checks the feed, there's nothing there, just static, and the faint sound of a closet creaking open. I first stumbled across Liam's post in a late-night Reddit thread titled, "Have you ever caught something truly disturbing on your security cam?" He'd posted a grainy video clip with the caption, "My hallway doesn't make sense anymore." It caught fire overnight. And the story behind it? Worse than the footage, Liam had just moved into a modern apartment complex in Cincinnati. It was brand new. He even joked in comments that the paint still smelled fresh. His unit was on the 3rd floor, and for the first couple weeks he was the only resident up there. No neighbors. No noise. Just long, echoing hallways and that weird sterile silence that only brand new buildings seem to have. But almost immediately things started to feel off. The hallway lights would flicker at random, even though they were brand new LED strips. At night, Liam would hear footsteps. Not fast ones. Slow, heavy, steady. Starting from one end of the hallway, walking, past his door, and never stopping. The weirdest part? The hallway only went so far. There wasn't enough space for footsteps to go on that long. After a few days of this, Liam set up a $40 motion-triggered hallway cam from Amazon. He just wanted to see what was making the noise. He expected maybe a janitor, maybe a loose pipe thudding under pressure. What he caught instead made his skin crawl. The first video, dated October 29th, showed a flickering hallway just past midnight. Then motion. A tall, dark figure appeared at the far end of the hallway. It was dragging something. A black garbage bag, heavy, scraping against the floor. The cam glitched, skipped a frame. Now the figure was halfway down the hallway, its head tilted sharply, unnaturally. Glitch. Now it was standing at Liam's door, perfectly still. It didn't knock, didn't move, just stood there. Then the feed glitched one last time, and the hallway was empty again. Liam thought it was a weird glitch, maybe just corrupted data. But then it happened again. October 30th. Same time, same figure. Only this time it stopped facing the camera. Liam swore the head twitched, like it was watching him through the lens. Then the feed glitched and looped. On Halloween night, Liam live-streamed the feed. Hundreds of viewers tuned in. Nothing happened for the first hour. Then around 1:47 a.m. the lights dimmed again, and the figure appeared. Same dragging bag, same posture, but this time, no glitches. It walked the full length of the hall, stopped at Liam's door, then slowly turned toward the camera and raised a finger to its lips. Shh, Liam posted afterward. I didn't sleep. It felt like it knew I was watching. On November 2nd, he uploaded what would be his final post. Title: It walked through the hallway wall. In this video, the figure appears again, but instead of walking the full corridor, it emerges from the side wall mid-frame, like the hallway wasn't real, like the dimensions bent for it. It drags the bag past Liam's door, and this time it drops it. A pool of dark fluid spreads across the floor. Liam wrote, "There's nothing there in the morning. No bag, no stain, but I still hear it dragging something." 2 days later, a Redditor claiming to live in the same complex commented, "Cops came last night. 3rd floor's taped off. No one's answering in Unit 3B. That was Liam's. They said no other tenants had ever signed a lease for that floor. No security guard, no janitor, just Liam. And a hallway that never ends on camera. I checked the listing for that complex last month. Unit 3B is still available, but the listing mentions nothing about what was found there. And when I tried to click the video tour, it was just 2 minutes of a hallway, repeating forever." In early 2023, A woman named Carla moved into a modest suburban home just outside of Portland, Oregon. She was recently divorced, lived alone, and worked nights at a nearby medical lab. Her neighborhood was quiet, the kind with trimmed lawns and neighbors who smiled but didn't pry. Since she worked the night shift and slept during the day, she had security cameras installed. One at the front door, one over the driveway, and one inside her living room just in case. The living room camera pointed toward the hallway leading to her bedroom. It gave her peace of mind. Until one morning in March, when she woke up to several alerts on her phone, motion detected at 2:17 a.m. Carla assumed it was a raccoon or car headlights, but when she checked the footage, her heart dropped. The camera in the living room had captured something impossible. At 2:17 a.m., the feed showed her hallway completely dark until something moved just outside the frame. Then a shadow stepped into view. It was a man, tall, slender, wearing dark clothes. No mask, no gloves, just standing in her hallway, not moving and staring directly at the camera. He didn't break in. There was no sound, no door opened, no window shattered. It was as if he appeared inside her house. And then, after exactly 6 seconds of eye contact, the footage glitched. The screen flickered into static for a moment, and when it resumed, the hallway was empty again. Carla watched it over and over. She checked her front and back door footage. No one came in. She called the police shaking. When they arrived, they swept the house and found no signs of forced entry. Everything was locked. No fingerprints, no footprints. Nothing was stolen, nothing out of place. The officers assumed it was a camera malfunction. Could have been a shadow, a glitch. Your system's not hardwired. Might have picked up interference. But Carla knew what she saw. She checked the system's cloud storage and downloaded the clip to her laptop, afraid it might disappear. For weeks, she couldn't sleep during the day without her bedroom door locked and a knife under her pillow. Then, one morning in April, she woke up to another motion alert. 2:17 a.m. again. She didn't want to look, but she had to. The footage showed her living room again. Same angle, same quiet house. At 2:17:03, a shape emerged from the hallway. Same man, same expressionless face. But this time he didn't just stare. He walked toward the camera. 4 steps. Then he tilted his head slowly, acting as if he was curious. Then he whispered something. The audio didn't pick it up clearly, just a breathy, garbled noise. And then he reached for the camera. The feed cut to black. Carla screamed and called the police again. They arrived within minutes and searched the house top to bottom. Again, no sign of entry. But this time there was something new. On the inside of the front door, written in chalk, was one word. Still here. She moved out that week. Carla now lives in an apartment complex downtown, 4th floor, no backyard, no alleyway. But even now, she checks her phone obsessively every morning. Because one night last month, she got a motion alert. From a camera she swore she had deactivated. It only recorded 1 second. Just enough time to show a face pressed up against her apartment window, smiling, and whispering, "Found you." If you made it this far, thank you for spending your night with us. If these stories gave you chills, there's plenty more waiting. Don't forget to subscribe to NightFear Stories for new terrifying tales every single night. Sleep well, if you can.